Hi there, everybody. This is Lee. And with this video, I'm talking about regime change and what is a coup. I've spoken often of our United States government, our State Department, Barack Obama as president, Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, and now John Kerry as Secretary of State. And the policy of deliberately causing instability and chaos and mayhem in other nations in order to control those nations or prevent them from becoming self-sustaining. It's a method of preventing these nations from um, becoming independent of the United States. And I've spoken of certain countries such as Haiti and Honduras, Syria. Um, Now we can look at Brazil. And I hesitated on Brazil because I wanted more information before I went there. With Haiti, it was through the election system that this instability was caused, through economic atrocity towards Haiti, taking advantage of natural disasters in Haiti, multiple instances of deliberate action by our United States government in oppressing the people of Haiti underneath Hillary Clinton's State Department, with her making these decisions to harm the people of Haiti in many different ways. Apparently, with Barack Obama's approval. And it's just a shame how those people have been treated. To this day, Hillary Clinton is being protested. Her headquarters is being protested by Haitian Americans because they know what she's been up to in other nations. Not everyone knows. It's maybe not reported as widely, but there have been atrocities, economic atrocities, military atrocities. Speaking of that, Honduras, we know that Hillary Clinton has legitimized coup governments by playing down the fact that they were military coups, making excuses, shielding them, legitimizing them, and then actively lobbying and sometimes forcing other nations through pressure, geopolitical pressure, to also legitimize this illegitimate coup, this criminal government system. Never mind that it's resulted in deaths in Honduras of activists, environmental activists, human rights activists. No matter that women have been getting raped, repeatedly raped in Honduras by the military coup government. Hillary Clinton has already shown that she does not care about such things. So that's Haiti and Honduras. And then Syria, she's spoken openly of there needs to be changes. We're going to do this over there in Syria until Syria is just the way we like it, the way we want it, under our heel. That's what's going on in the Middle East, and that's not the only nation. Libya, regime change, military interventions, atrocities, chaos, mayhem, destruction. Somalia, Yemen, all over the Middle East, the northern African nations, and it goes on, this policy. I've spoken of Brazil. There has been a regime change in Brazil. And it was not through military action. And so it was almost like a bloodless coup. And how do you describe such thing? Um, Reading this article in Counterpunch, let's see. It's What is a Coup? Analyzing the Brazilian Impeachment Process. And it was just very chilling to read this article because, to tell the truth, it's shaping up to looking like what's happening here in the United States. That's the chilling, the frightening part of things. This was written on October 11th. It's at Counterpunch. Aline Pisa, Frederick B. Mills. And so it acknowledges that there's a debate on whether the regime change in Brazil constituted a coup. And that means whether the impeachment process that was used to depose President Dilma Rousseff had democratic legitimacy, or was it an illicit use of formal procedures to undermine the popular mandate granted to the Workers' Party. So this was a democratic process to install Dilma Rousseff. She's popular. She was wanted by the people. She was socialist. She had a socialist agenda. And there was an issue on with her vice president, who wanted more of an austerity type program to make cuts in favor of the business and corporate class in Brazil. And so there was initiation of an impeachment process, not because of actual wrongdoing by Rousseff or actually any criminal activity or any overt corruption. It was a disagreement over relegation of resources, financial resources, and programs. And so that's why there's a question, was this a legitimate coup? There's still questions ongoing. And many critics of the use of the term coup to describe Brazil's regime change say that this term is misapplied. And so, in general, someone else, Norberto Robio, defines a coup d'etat as a change of government through unconstitutional means. And so there's 5 tests to see whether a government has been, or a regime has been changed unconstitutionally. One is an act perpetrated by one or more institutions within the state. 2, leads to a change in political leadership. 3, may be accompanied by political and or social mobilization. 4, is usually followed by the reinforcement of the state's bureaucracy and law enforcement apparatus. And 5, leads to the elimination or dissolution of political parties. And so they're saying in this article that all 5 of these characteristics can be found in Rouseff's impeachment. And so you can read this article at Counterpunch, and it pretty much, the article sums up and gives proof of each of these 5 characteristics and says that yes, it was a coup. And disappointingly enough, if this is the case, and they argue that it is, it's really disappointing that the new government, the head of the government, Timur, he came to the United Nations to New York, where apparently his government was legitimized by our government per operating standards. It appears that way. And there's basically an admission that there wasn't actually any criminal activity by Rousseff. There was no evidence. There was no evidence of corruption or any evidence that she was not following the democratic mandate given to her by the people of Brazil. And so they're saying in this article it was a coup. It was a regime change and a deliberate effort to destabilize Brazil, prevent Brazil from becoming an independent nation, self-determined. And then our government legitimized the government, the new government that was not popularly elected. So the beat goes on. I'll let people read this article and consider it for themselves. And I'll be posting links to other articles on Counterpunch about deliberate acts by our government towards other nations to destabilize them, cause chaos and mayhem that results in harm being done to civilians on the ground, including women and children, and the fact that Hillary Clinton's State Department and then Barack Obama as president and John Kerry signed off on our meddling, constant meddling in other nations, and the destruction that is left behind, and then declared as legitimate by our government.